The Walking Dead is a show that I defended for years, and this video is just something I need to get off my chest. I figured with the release of Darryl Dixon Season 2, this is a good time because, look, that's a whole thing by itself. By the way, what an awful name to give this show. They've called it Darryl Dixon, Book of Carol. Like what, was Book of Darryl taken? What sort of name is that? Anyway, look, The Walking Dead is dead. It probably died a long time ago, to be honest. This is really hard to say because I love the show, and at its peak, it was the biggest and best show out there, but that was a long time ago. I enjoyed season 9, and the first Darryl Dixon season was really well received, but that's kind of all that the fans have to celebrate since season 6, which, by the way, aired 9 years ago. Yeah, 9 years ago. These spin-offs for me just ain't it. We do get 3 shows a year, which granted keeps the fans busy, but the Disney Plus model that they are following, the 6-episode model, it's a failed experiment in my opinion. It doesn't work. The best example of this is, look, I waited 6 years for Rick Grimes' big return, and trust me, I waited because he is probably my favourite character of all time. But I waited for 6 years, and realistically, in return I got 1 episode. I have 1 episode that I enjoy and rewatch. 1 episode of just Rick's story and coming up to speed with where he has been. There is no insight into what happened when he first got to the CRM, apart from a single flashback, and all the problems that he couldn't solve over the course of 6 years. He solved over 6 episodes with Michonne. It's just too quick and it didn't work. Honestly, in the penultimate episode of the season, I remember thinking, there's going to be more seasons of this show. They can't possibly end the show in the finale because it'd just be all wrapped up too quick and too easily. And it was. And you know what? I didn't even mind the ending. Despite it being rushed, and despite RJ, I thought it was the ending I wanted for Rick. It came way too quick, and look, I really wish things were different because they're fumbling the bag. That's the only way I can put it. Not to mention that when this show came out, it wasn't even available in the UK for months. Like, for a while. Half the cast are English. Are you really telling me that they don't value an entire market? Like, an actual whole country with a population of what? Nearly 70 million now? That's crazy to me. I mean, thank God for VPNs. I won't say who I use unless they sponsor me. But, look, thank God for VPNs, because that was the only reason I was actually able to watch the show and pay for it, because, you know, I didn't want to watch it illegally, which a lot of people in my country did, but they're just burning money, surely. I never understood why they released it and didn't have a plan for a UK release. And look, you can say they didn't have time. They had 6 years to come up with a plan. It's crazy to me. It's mental. That brings me to another point. The strategy of releases on these spin-offs are poor. They just released season 2 of Darryl Dixon, and they accidentally leaked the entire season. I think it was in France that they leaked this, ironically, on Paramount Plus, but no other show has these problems. They have taken the episodes down, but they are out there. If you want to find them, you can, and it was the same with The Ones Who Live. Not to mention all the spoilers on my TikTok, by the way. Like, there's no point even watching the show because I just know what happens already. Which, by the way, we figure out what comes out of that line from the first season where Carol says someone came back. It's Fort. It's not Morgan, it's not Rick, it's Fort. With The Ones Who Lived, every episode came out on YouTube a week before it ever saw the light of day on AMC+. For real, who's in charge here? AMC are investing a lot of money into keeping this franchise alive, and they just do things that, it's like Joker burning the money in The Dark Knight. Like, why are you doing it? Honestly, if you're a part of the Walking Dead fan base, and you're like upset by this video or whatever, I'd love to know your thoughts, because I know the Walking Dead fan base is insanely loyal, and there are people who do actually enjoy these shows. There are people who are big fans of characters such as Maggie.
Maggie! Maggie! Open the door, please. I want to talk to you.
And Darryl. And they enjoyed the show once Rick left, which I myself couldn't really do as much. So if you are someone who's a massive fan of The Walking Dead and you're watching, please leave a comment and let me know what you think, because I'm really interested to know. Even if you're not, please let me know what you think. I don't understand what direction they're going in with these spin-offs, because they can't go on forever. I know they're talking about doing another season of Darryl Dixon in Spain, but at what point does it get a little ridiculous? And again, I like how they brought him to France. I thought they did it in a realistic way and in an interesting way. And I thought it was a good season of television. But the Negan and Maggie spin-off, for example, I haven't even touched on that yet. It doesn't really make sense to me. It feels too... They're just jamming characters together. And I know there are people who want different sort of spin-offs. People want to see Aaron and Gabriel together, for example, which is a cool idea. They had one cool episode together in The Walking Dead. But I just didn't get the end goal here. It feels like the franchise is dying. And when The Ones Who Live finished, there was this talk about a big team up, like an Avengers movie or something. And they're talking about bringing all the characters back together for one big movie or season or something. And I guess they were hinting that the threat would be the CRM. But I just don't get it. I don't see that happening, and I don't see it being good. But maybe you guys do, and maybe you can leave a comment as to why you think that would be good, because I would be interested to know. But yeah, I'm just leaving this video out there because I really want to get this off my chest. And The Walking Dead is something I do want to talk about. I want to see if this video does well as well, and if it does, then I'd like to talk about some of the spin-offs a bit more in depth. I definitely love to talk about The Ones Who Live, the same way I did with the Dexter spin-off, for example. That's something I'm really interested in doing, so we'll see if this does well, and if it does and people want that, then I'll be happy to make that, because, you know, it takes a lot of time. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, make sure you subscribe as well. Please leave a comment. I really want to know what people's thoughts are. I don't really use Twitter much. I think it's a bit toxic. If people could leave comments and let me know on how they feel about the show and the state it's in right now, or the franchise, I'd be really interested to know. So again, just please do that. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Goodbye.
Maggie! Maggie! Open the door, please. I want to talk to you. Maggie! Maggie! Open the door, please. I want to talk to you.